Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful, empowered harmonizers. We're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to discuss a little bit more in depth about the psychopath and the psychopathic gaze. One thing we need to understand about a psychopath, someone who has antisocial personality disorder, is that they are different in terms of their wiring. They are different in terms of their brain structure. This creates then a difference in their vocabulary and the way they present themselves, especially their physicality and the way that they interact and communicate with others. Namely, the amygdala, the amygdala, which is the fear center, is shown to be shrunken in size or smaller in the psychopath, as well as inactivity in the prefrontal cortex. What does this mean for a psychopathic gaze? Well, the amygdala is your fear center. It's that which tells you to be afraid and to protect yourself, to enter into the fight or flight, to, it'll elicit these emotions. And also the prefrontal cortex. So there are certain areas of inactivity which really translate for a psychopath is that they don't experience emotions, abstract emotions like love, connection, liberty, freedom, having just sort of that things of love, of liberty, or patriotism. They just don't feel this. They hear, a song, and the words don't really mean anything, but they'll just listen to the music. So what people might resonate to the words of a song, they don't get. Same things with like movies. It just doesn't hold the same emotional content. They do not experience fear in the way that most people do. If you're hurting another, if you're exploiting another, there's I shouldn't do that. That's hurtful. That's wrong. They don't have that same feeling going on within. There's a lack of conscience. And so instead of, people feeling fearful, concerned, conscientious, they're not held back, they're not hindered. They don't have those same things circulating in their physicality. And then also in the prefrontal cortex, that area of the brain that's responsible for judgment, morality, learning, and planning is also showed slowed activity. So how is this then, computed? How is this correlated and translated into the psychopathic gaze? So there's an absence of being able to learn from mistakes when they've hurt others. It just doesn't build up. It doesn't resonate. They don't learn from the past, especially in areas that involve emotionality or connection, and gives them an inability then to sort of plan for the future, have a dream, a vision, and be able to execute and deliver on it. It's not because there's something wrong with you. This is how they are wired. And the psychopathic gaze basically is a reptilian gaze. Someone who, like a mammal who is cold-blooded. Like when you see a snake and you kind of feel like, a stun, you're shocked. You have to be careful. You feel a sense of alarm. The reptilian gaze where, the slits are kind of made smaller. And, for a psychopath, because of a void, or they're devoid of certain emotions like love, bonding, connection, brotherhood, humanity, love, freedom, loyalty, all those sort of emotions that you might strive for and work for, those aren't going on in that engine. The juices ain't flowing there. They have other juices going on, particularly that of dominance and control in getting what they want. So they have a different sort of endpoint for relationships than most people, 99% of society. They want power. They want control over, they want to overtake. They want to conquer. They want to sort of devalue and destroy and discard what they would call their target or supply. For them, that replaces all the other things that we just talked about: connection, bonding, brotherhood, humanity, patriotism, truth, love, reverence for the divine, loving nature, things of that nature, beauty even. They extrapolate different meaning, different outcome, different, takeaways. And so the psychopathic gaze is affected in the the micro expressions. And so as you might really have a guttural laugh, or someone really tickles your funny bone, or you see something that really makes you happy and you're so excited to see somebody and your face lights up. You've heard the expression, your face lights up. And you smile, you'll giggle, you see like blood flow to the face, the muscles start to rise up, the eyes crinkle, your eyes light up, they sparkle. That is a general happy look. Now with a psychopath, there is a psychopathic gaze which is reptilian, more cold-blooded, and then you might kind of see these slits kind of in the center, and then the eyes sort of transfix, and then it's very strange. It's like there's two different muscle groups in the face. So you got this one going, but this, when someone really smiles, and then you've got these lines here, it's like they don't have any crow's feet, they don't have any lines. This is still, this is smiling, and then this is like cold. This is not in the same micro expression. The almost like the Joker look, if you will. But when they do this, it has sort of a stun gun feeling. It has most people interpret it as sexual interest or seduction. They feel that the look is sort of paralyzing and sort of, giving them this thrill, this sort of buzz, this sort of tingling, and they feel, ooh, this person has this look that's so captivating. They're so charming. They're so charismatic. The psychopathic gaze, they know that the eyes are the window to the soul, and what you're receiving, you think is warm-blooded, warm and fuzzy attraction, sexual interest, is really there's a cold-blooded, there's an absence of warmth, but it's perceived by others as to elicit sexual interest. And when you are then, sort of glued to that, it's like you're transfixed. It's like there's an instant connection that is felt. People feel like, I've known this person for years. I can let it all hang out with them. I can let it all loose. I don't have to worry, about being perfect, or I can just be myself. This is the answer to my prayers. This person all of a sudden treats me the way that I've wanted to be treated. And all of a sudden, the oxytocin goes up in their system. The feel-good bonding connection, the titillation, the sexual arousal, the adrenaline and the dopamine and the serotonin also begin to get, mixed. And then they're getting this heightened level of arousal. And then the psychopath is then able to see when you're vulnerable, see when your guard is down, see when you've fallen for them, hook, line, and sinker. And then they just sort of reach in and sort of grab what they want from you, particularly in abundance of that which they lack. Affection, learning about emotions, learning about your body language, learning about what makes you naive, learn about what makes you tick, and then sort of use it against you, if you will, and finding out what your needs and your voids are, and they kind of build on this right away, and they manipulate and get what they want. But the psychopathic gaze, I feel, is one of the first things that they give to others that elicits, can I target you? Can I manipulate you? Can I control you? This can be on the positive and the negative. We've heard about, looks that are glued, the looks that could kill, the looks that can maim. You've perhaps seen, when the mask falls, they almost wish you the opposite of life, if you know what I mean. It's the look that is soulless. It's from the other side. It's from another dimension. It's cold down there. It's dark. It doesn't end. It's chilling. It's, paralyzing. It's beyond fear. It's something that you don't encounter a lot of time, but it is a look of manipulation, a look of control, and it's not well-wishing. It's not life-giving. It's not supporting. And oftentimes they will use these looks to control and keep you close. It's kind of like the cat and mouse. If the cat sort of takes a bite of the mice might wiggle, but they don't want to bite it so hard that it can't be played with and it can't be toyed anymore. This is what these looks are. And, you might catch it out of the corner of your eye. It might be directed towards you, all sorts of different spectrum, but there is a psychopathic gaze. And, it's very eerie. So if you've felt this, encountered this, don't fall for it. Do not be controlled by the psychopathic gaze. Whether it's when you think of seduction, come hither, go farther, walk a plank, whatever it is you feel that the message of the psychopathic gaze elicits, do not listen to it, do not obey it, do not seek more. It is not life-giving, life-affirming, creative. It is meant to be mean, harsh, controlling, debilitating, hurtful, destroying, destructive, maiming, ruinous, all these different things. I mean, it is not, even if it comes from your boss, your spouse, your family member, your neighbor, wherever it is, don't internalize it. Like, just be like, yep, that's yours. You take that energy. Do not allow the energy to be absorbed or digested within. Create a firm boundary, a wisdom, knowledge, and experience that knows better than the psychopathic gaze. It can be very gentle and what appears to be nurturing in the female. Men, don't fall for it. Women, don't fall for it. It's your buddy, Peace and Harmony. I hope the videos do help. And yes, by the way, I've had a lot of people who are wondering if I do coaching sessions, and the answer is yes. And I have moved around my schedule. I've had a waiting list, but I do have some openings that I've now moved around. So definitely feel free to contact me. I'll put my email there if you do want one-on-one coaching, either over the phone or via email, particularly about a psychopathic relationship that has you feeling hurt, lost, confused, not knowing what to do. We can definitely help you. Have a beautiful day. You got this.